With the big telephone company, for caller ID, call blocking, call forwarding, call waiting, and three-way calling, you can end up paying almost $50 a month for all that. But with Rev Voice, you get all those features for free.
Tall Pines MP Leslie Miller calls for an early election to take advantage of the F&M's perceived weakness. A Sky Bahamas flight makes an emergency landing after experiencing engine problems. Vendors upset at the straw market, plus 5 Haitian men appear in court on drug charges. We've got those stories and a lot more coming up tonight. I'm Dana Smith, and MV12 starts right now. Topping news tonight, Tall Pines MP Leslie Miller is sounding off about the infighting in the F&M, suggesting the Prime Minister should call an early election and take advantage of the opposition's current weakness. His comments come as the F&M's Executive Committee held an emergency meeting last night to consider the 4 F&M MPs who are in contravention of the views of the executive. Reports are that strong voices within the meeting had called for the MPs to be expelled from the party.
It hit me last night. They say, I know the PM, he's going to say, I can't go now because it'll be unfair. The people may say that I'm mean-spirited by calling the election knowing the position that Dr. Minnis finds himself in. And that's the type of kind-hearted person he is. If it was me, I'll go tomorrow. It was Mr. Linden. He would, between Mr. Linden and Mr. Hanna, them two is together, you'll have election by July. You got problems, that's your problem. I won't win. So I want to go at your weakest hour. If a fella and I in a race, he got a bad leg, that's his problem. I can win. I give it his leg. I feel bad, buddy, but I can let him take my medal because he got a bad leg, and I should wait for his leg to heal. I got it and get my gold medal, and hopefully next year he could come back. But I taken what I can take now. The opportunity is there. I can grab it now.
Despite opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis's appeal for party members to address matters internally, 5 F&M MPs have now called for Senator Lanisha Roll to publicly apologize after she called into a Guardian radio talk show and accused F&M MPs of being jealous of Minnis. At last night's emergency meeting, our news team understands the executive committee agreed there was no need for a public apology and the matter should be put to rest. However, the controversy is not just limited to Roll's comments. The issue has drawn attention to divisions within the opposition. Roll's comments came after months of tension between Minnis and a few of his fellow MPs. And at last night's meeting, we understand there were calls for the MPs to be expelled from the party, though no such decision was made. Miller told NB12 today these things have a way of working out, and he's sure the F&M will come together at one point in time, which is why it would be smart, he said, to call an early election.
You watch between now and June, the playing field is going to be settled, and everybody's going to go back to what they want to do. You know why? There's one ambition that keeps them. There's one small thing that keeps all of the opposition together. They want to get rid of the BLP. So at some point in time, they will forget all of their problems, forget all the hate that they have for each other this time, because they got one common goal, to remove us from office. They will come together at some point in time. And I hope that the Prime Minister don't allow them to garner enough speed and enough strength that coalition coalesce.
The DNA's deputy leader has charged that the F&M is unfit to govern after weeks of watching members of the opposition squabble publicly like a group of unsupervised toddlers. Former PLP MP Philip Galanis said this official opposition is the weakest the country has seen in decades, and he charged that in its current state, the opposition would be wiped out if an early election were called, and he suggested the Prime Minister do just that. Meantime, former Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham lamented the F&M's current state of affairs and said he hopes the party can get itself together.
I see Mr. Ingraham has said his 2 cents in it, that he's very concerned about the plight of the party and where he finds it now, and he should be. Because under his rule, these things should not have happened. But
a Sky Bahamas flight from Nassau to Freeport was diverted back to Nassau for an emergency landing after experiencing a problem in one of its engines, forcing the pilots to shut it off and make a landing with only one. Videos of the incident show passengers holding hands and praying, with that plane's left engine completely shut off and suffering what looks like a possible oil leak. The 5 passengers and 3 crew members who were on board all landed safely. Sky Bahamas CEO Captain Randy Butler told our news team the pilots had heard an unfamiliar loud noise and shut off the engine as a precautionary measure and turned back around and landed in Nassau. Butler said there are no obvious signs of damage to the aircraft, and engineers have pulled the plane inside the hangar to take a look at it. He said Sky Bahamas is not going to rush the process, and it will probably take a few days before engineers determine exactly what went wrong. Butler said he's grateful that the passengers and crew are all safe, and he praised the pilots for doing a good job and bringing the passengers back safely. He added passenger safety is key at Sky Bahamas, and incidents like this are always taken seriously. Straw vendors were up in arms with police officers today as a routine stall check resulted in uproar as vendors chanted, "We are no criminals." Our Giorgio Bain was on the scene and filed this report.
Police presence causing quite the uproar on the straw market today as straw vendors say all they want is to be treated equally.
We know criminals! We know criminals! We know criminals! We know criminals! We know criminals!
Want Harry Glaston Christie, the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, or Mr. Brave Davis to come and deal with this situation? There is no way I am going to sit here and watch the vendors be treated inhuman.
Straw vendors are being told that they must comply with the Straw Market Authority's rules or forfeit their stalls.
The Straw Market Authority had sent out a memo with certain different rules in the straw market. The straw vendors, actually, we don't have no problem in complying with the rules, but it's the way how we are being handled. First of all, this is a straw market. I'm 42 years old. I've been in the market all my entire life. At one point in my life, I could have been a custom officer, but I choose not to be. I came to the straw market, and this is all I know. In here, this is the only way that we are able to display our goods, to make a sale if we display our goods in a mannerly fashion.
But other straw vendors say the SMA is focused on the wrong things and needs to focus on getting tourists into the straw market so straw vendors can make $1.
If they want to do something for the vendors, get some tourists in this market. It seems as if we can soon start buying from one another. So if they want to do something, get rather than calling the police, get busy and get some tourists in this market. Do their job.
Sylvia Wilson, who grew up in the straw market and is still a vendor, says she has never seen anything like this in her entire life, and she and other vendors are only doing what it takes to make an honest living.
All my life, I was bicing my ma, 4 o'clock in the morning, getting me up to sow straw. Straw. The other day you could get a chance and make a little souvenir and things, and you know what the Prime Minister then said, Mr. Penland? He said, y'all sell what you could make an honest living off. And that is what we're doing to help ourselves with the straw. Because these straw and things, you know how much for these flat now? $20 a roll.
Vendors are saying they're now putting it in the hands of the Straw Market Authority to hear their cries. Reporting for NB12 from the Straw Market, I'm Giorgio Bain.
Police have launched a massive island-wide manhunt for a convicted murderer after he escaped from a police transport vehicle earlier today. Reports are that shortly after noon, the prisoner, identified as 26-year-old Ormond Leon, escaped off the bus taking him to prison in the area of East Bay Street.
His family, who love him, should do the right thing to turn him in. He has already been through the court system. and he should come back and go where he's supposed to go in prison. Asking all the citizens of this island, please support your police. We need this Ormond Leon off the street now. We cannot wait for a couple more minutes because something may happen. He may go and try to harm someone else. Please, everybody, support your police in this venture.
Leon was scheduled to be sentenced today for the murder. However, the trial was adjourned. Assistant Commissioner of Police Leon Bethel explains the predicament they're now in.
For some reason, he did not want the court justice, so we are here to look for him and to bring him to justice. We're going to do that all through this evening. Tonight, we are not going to stop until we find him. We have information that he is already linked up with some of his associates, some other criminals. Ormond Leon need to know. You would not be able to sleep, son. Come, so we could take you back home to prison.
Leon is described as a dark brown man of a slim build and standing at about 5'9" to 5'11" in height. He frequents the Moore Avenue, Homestead, and Miami Street areas. He was last seen wearing a white t-shirt and blue jean pants. Police consider Leon to be armed and extremely dangerous and warn that if he is spotted, members of the public are urged not to approach him, but to instead call police at 919 or Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS. Police are also seeking the public's assistance in locating a man wanted for questioning in connection with a rape that occurred this past Saturday. 20-year-old Vernal Livingston Stubbs of Blue Hill Road South is described as a dark brown man of slim build. Anyone with any information regarding Stubbs' whereabouts, no matter how small or insignificant the tip may seem, is asked to contact police. As the World Health Organization declared the Zika virus a global health emergency on Monday, Minister of Tourism Obi Wilchcombe and Health Minister Dr. Perry Gomez are reassuring Bahamians. They said the government has taken an offensive approach and advised residents and tourists that the Bahamas is well ahead of the situation. Simone Davis reports.
According to officials as of Monday, there were no reports of the virus in the Bahamas, but health officials suggested that it's only a matter of time before Zika gets to the country.
Wilchcombe, who spoke to reporters at the office of the Prime Minister, said the Ministry of Tourism was advised that several people, including 2 pregnant women, were cautioned against travel into the Bahamas because of the spread of the virus across the region. But he said there's not been a fallout of visitors to the country overall, despite reported cases of the virus in nearby countries, including Jamaica and Haiti.
The traveling public would want to know is what should we do? We have been told that several individuals in some of the smaller hotels have been told 1 or 2 pregnant women were told not to travel in the region at this time, and they will not be coming to the Bahamas at this time because of what's happening in the region. And obviously they're being more cautious, and we understand that. But generally we've not seen a decline in our bookings, and we've seen that the season looks good as it is now. But of course, we've got to constantly monitor. I think what's important is for the world to know what we're doing, to have a sense of comfortability coming to the Bahamas, to understand that every effort is being made.
Wilchcombe also noted that despite the extreme measures being made to prevent Zika from entering the country, it is still a major concern and should not be taken lightly by the government or residents.
I think we are like the rest of the world, deeply concerned. And that is why we have intensified fogging in our country right now to ensure that as best we can, you kill the mosquito. I think that's the bottom line. That's the only way out. And so we're very pleased with the work being done. The Minister of Health is here. He's able to speak more authoritatively. But of course, we are monitoring all the islands of the Bahamas, ensuring the hotels. In fact, I spoke with Stuart Bowe today, president of the Hotel Association. One of the things he wanted to ensure was that we allowed the world to know what we're doing in the Bahamas to, as best we can, manage the situation. But we are deeply concerned as everyone else.
According to the World Health Organization, women in the first and second trimester could give birth to abnormal babies if infected with the virus. Pregnant women have been warned against traveling to countries where the Zika virus has been identified, and in some countries where the virus has been recorded, officials are asking women not to get pregnant. However, Health Minister Dr. Perry Gomez said at this time there is no consideration for such a warning in the Bahamas.
No, we have made no such declaration here.
Is that a consideration?
Not at this time. let's hope we never get it.
He also said the ministry has been monitoring the virus for about 3 months without announcing it in an effort to detect it before it hits the public.
The ministry had been monitoring the organism for about 3 months. As part of the international health regulations, the ministry is involved with the world, really, in so doing. And you know, through the people who man that desk in the ministry, you know what's happening around the world before it becomes public.
The World Health Organization declared the Zika virus a global emergency following an emergency committee meeting. It was also reported that an outbreak of birth defects and neurologic disorders linked to the virus meets the criteria for a global health emergency. Cases of the Zika virus have been reported in 22 countries. On Sunday, Minister for the Environment Kenred Dorset said fogging is ongoing and there are plans to beef those efforts up. He urged Bahamians to take the threat of the virus seriously. Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone Davis.
When NB12 returns, 5 Haitian men appear in the magistrate's court on drug charges. Stay with us.